The QCY HT05, also known as the Mellow Buds ANC, are A-tier headphones. And if you want to compare them to other A-tier headphones, I have a whole chart on my website linked in the description. But the QCY HT05 are the newest pair of active noise canceling headphones from QCY, and they come in at a really competitive price point. But whether or not these headphones are anything special is what we're going to be discussing in today's video. Now, as always, we're going to start this video off with all you need to know about the specs, so let's just run them down really quick. They have 6 mics, 3 on each ear. They have 6 hours of battery life with ANC and 7.5 hours of battery life without ANC. With their case, you can expect between 30 to 24 hours of playback time accordingly. Now, they charge via USB-C, and the ANC has 3 modes. And on top of those 3 modes, you can change what kind of ANC you're using, whether or not it's for like commuting, public transport, and you can get really granular in the QCY app to like change all of these different parameters along with changing the EQ and response curve. Now that we've got the specs out of the way, let's talk a little bit about the build quality, design, and materials. Now, the case is a matte plastic, which is nice as it ages well. The lid will stay open, but it's not a satisfying click, but it's not a floppy lid, so I gotta give them bonus points for that. The front of the case has a multicolored indicator light that can give you a vague idea of how much battery life the headphones have left, and there is a reset button inside the case if the headphones become unpaired. Overall, the size of the case is fantastic, and I think that the case is pretty well made for the overall size and price point. Now, the headphones themselves feel very familiar in shape and design because we've seen a really similar design from QCY, Hailu, Xiaomi, and even Pamu, and it's likely that these headphones are all manufactured in the same plant in Shenzhen. Now, the headphones themselves have a vent on the inside to reduce the stethoscopic effect or that plugged air effect that you might have, and an extra microphone to monitor the noise level near your head. Headphones weigh in at around 4.5 grams, and most of that weight is near your ear, which makes them feel extremely easy to use. I really like the attention to detail in regards to using 3 different microphones in order to get a better sound quality, not only in voice calls, but in active noise canceling. And I find the design and placement of these microphones to be great. Now, on the subject of microphones, let's go ahead and give you guys a microphone test right now. Now you're hearing me on the QCY Mellow Buds ANC. No background noise. We have a quiet office. Let's go ahead and check them out with some background noise. You're hearing me on the QCY Mellow Buds ANC with some background noise, and now's a great time to go ahead and smash the like button if you like the video. And if you love it, think about becoming a channel member for $1 a month and connecting with me over on Discord. Now, mic quality on these guys was really surprisingly good, and the fact that they can be optimized for transparency mode was really nice as well. The transparency mode on these is so good that I can really easily speak and listen to Vietnamese, which is my second language, with the headphones in using transparency mode. And I can't say that about all other headphones that have a transparency mode. So I was actually pretty surprised. Let's go ahead and give you guys a latency test right now. As you guys can see, the latency with the gaming mode is pretty good. Still, you're gonna want wired headphones if you're playing any competitive first-person shooter. Let's touch on something that might be the most important thing for most people, which is sound quality. Now, sound quality of these headphones is really good, actually. And I was surprised how good the sound quality is given their price point. One of my favorite aspects to the sound quality is the multi-level EQ that we have in the QCY app, which allows me to kind of go in and fine-tune the response curve of these headphones, uninstall the app, and keep that response curve on the headphones. I feel like I was able to add a bit of sub bass, boost the mids, and actually I found that the overall tuned response that I gave these headphones was great for a variety of different genres of music. Bass was awesome, really, really punchy, but relatively well controlled. After I added some mids into the EQ, vocals sounded great and natural. Highs were bright, but they never really sounded that shrill, and I was relatively impressed by how these headphones sound, especially if you consider the fact that when you are using ANC, there isn't that much of a sound signature shift. Now, there is a bit of a sound signature shift when using ANC, but it's definitely not that big. Now, I want to talk about ANC for a second because that's something that deserves a little bit of recognition. QCY, in the QCY app, allows you to actually go in and change what kind of ambient noise you would have and allows you to kind of tune the ANC for those specific frequencies. And it doesn't make a huge difference, but it definitely does make a difference. And the fact that we have this level of customizability on a pair of like what I would call entry-level headphones between like 40 to 60 bucks is awesome. And it's part of the reason that they're A tier, because while the performance of the ANC or the app isn't amazing, it's definitely good enough that it kind of stands above the competition, especially if you're comparing it to something like the Soundpeats Mini Pro, which don't have any of this customizability, but have aptX. You have to choose which one is more important, but I like the level of customizability and the ability to go ahead and change the EQ. And I like the fact that I can go ahead and kind of change some of the ANC settings. Another setting that is built into these headphones, which is really interesting, is the ability to tune ambient mode. This is something that I wouldn't normally think of, but in the ambient mode settings, you can go ahead and kind of turn up a vocal boost or vocal enhancement in the ambient mode. Now, in most cases, if you're not having a direct conversation with someone, this is just kind of like turning up the volume for ambient mode. But the headphones actually do a pretty decent job of picking out vocals. And if you're having a conversation with someone, turning up the vocal boost actually kind of does a decent job of picking up the vocals and boosting them higher. That said, kind of changing that would be a little bit clunky, but I don't really see other headphones coming in at this price point with this deep level of customizability, and it's part of the reason why these headphones are A tier. If you want to check out other A tier headphones that these are competing with, go ahead and check out my chart on my website where I have all what I would call A tier headphones listed with links where you can buy them, reviews, etc. Now, closing, I would kind of want to talk a little bit about how competition for truly wireless headphones has never been more fierce. And it feels as if we have a new pair of headphones from an established manufacturer every week. And along with each of these new headphones, manufacturers seem to be finding some new type of marketing spin to put on these. Now, I've reviewed almost 100 pairs of headphones, and the fact that we are now seeing this level of customizability come down to that sub $100 price point really makes me hopeful for just the overall future of truly wireless headphones. And I'm really happy to see that QCY is kind of leading the way at what I would call entry-level priced headphones with a ton of features, a ton of customizability, and ultimately a ton of value for buyers.